What's up, bud? You want to install a trans mount, a 350Z?
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go some fun. Pole jack, definitely going to be needed. 1 out of 5. This is like a 1.5. Pole jack, you got to get pretty high up in the air. It's 4 bolts instead of 1, like an oil change, but it's going to be relatively easy. So yeah, let's knock it out. All right, step 1, jack stands, lift, either way, make sure it's safe, off the ground. And then if you're on jack stands, just like a floor jack or something, put right here on the base of the transmission, as we will be removing this black mount from underneath it. We're on a lift, so we'll use pole jack. So with the transmission secured with your pole jack, 14 mil socket, you're gonna remove the 4 14s off of this black brace. I'm gonna do them all just a little at a time, just to make sure that this brace or this pole jack has support on it. That way, as I loosen one corner, I can see if it kind of drops and make sure it stays the same, which it all feels good. They all feel loose. So it should be good to grab this thing out of here. There's one. There's 2. There's 3. And there's 4. Sweet. Cool. So 4 14s are out. Now there's this huge, it's kind of like a dampener bolt. It's got a big weight right here at the end of it. It's the 14 that goes all the way through this trans mount, through the middle of this brace. So 14 mil long wrench on it. You're gonna break that loose. And there we go. So we are leaving the Y pipe on, just for simplicity. That way take off as little as we need to. So I'll use this to break it loose. And then I have a cordless impact that I can kind of fit up here. This thing wasn't gonna break that bolt loose. It was super tight, so broke it loose by hand. And now I'll just use this to zip it out the rest of the way. Just like that. You can see what I mean, and look at some of the thread on that, all that white corrosion. That's what you're fighting against, but yeah, easy enough. All right, so big dampening bolt, right? 14 mil came out. So now what you're gonna do is, this has some swing to it. You would think just pull it straight down. It's on a dowel. It's like carried over in a certain way. So Nathan, if you wanna come from this way, shoot this way, I'll show you guys. Take your pole jack, and watch, you're gonna lightly lower, and the transmission, exhaust, everything will come with it. And you're just gonna drop it down just a little bit to give you this kind of free motion. You're gonna push the whole black brace up to the left and off. Just like that. And now, we'll come in and look at that. Trans mount's there. 2 more bolts, 1 on either side, and we're good and disassembled and ready to install the new one. So, it's been all 14s so far. Guess what, 14 again. Now you're sitting here probably wondering why, if I used an impact before, I'm not using it now. It's a really good question. All right, cool. So old one's out. Got the new Z1 urethane transmission mount in my hand. Guys, just seriously put it back together. Easy peasy. Nothing crazy. Definitely make sure you put these in by hand and then tighten them up afterwards. Nobody wants to be replacing a transmission because you broke a transmission mount bolt inside your trans. crank these bad boys up. So there is a little bit of clocking here, by the way. You can slide this mount kind of back and forth. Good center. It's where you should be. We'll bolt these two up, and then we'll take that black brace, kind of slide it back up, make sure it lines up with the 4 original holes. If not, we can always take it back off, slide this thing back and forth one way or the other. Sweet, looks good. So this is that dowel we were talking about. Bolt kind of slides in through this, so as you try to pull it down, it's gonna hit. You have to like kind of push it up and then wrap around, and then you can get it off. Boom. If you had a bolt, you know it was being a pain. And get it off, and there's all this like kind of white corrosion, old Loctite kind of stuff on there. Take a wire brush and make sure you clean that guy out. All right, slid the brace back on. Let's get our 14 mil massive dampening bolt here. Put it back exactly the way we took it out. Just slide it back in. Start threading it in by hand. So dampening bolt. We'll give it some final tightening here. Oh, still have a little bit more to go. There we go. One more. One more, just for safety. There we go. All right. So trans mount on, brace in, bolt. So the brace is still loose to the chassis, but it's connected to the transmission. So now we'll take our 14 mils and run those around the edge. You're gonna wanna start these guys, but not tighten all of them down until all 4 are in. This piece can shift left, right, forward, back, get all 4 started, and then once all 4 are threaded in, then go back and tighten them down. That's a good rule of thumb just to go with almost anything in the car. If there's multiple bolts, never just run one in, tighten it all the way down, and then do the rest. Now you get them all started. All right, so now we'll come to this side. All right, so I don't know if you guys can tell on this side, those holes aren't lining up. Never try to put it at an angle. Go, grab a big pipe. I got a pry bar here, and just a little bit of pressure is all it needs. There we go. Just to start that in. In this case, I don't want to relieve pressure because then that brace will be sitting on the threads as I try to walk it back up. So I'll get it up there and pretty tight like that. Then we'll do this back one. And relieve pressure. Cool. Let's tighten these 14 mils down. We're almost done. All right, 14 mils are tight. Drop this pole jack. And that's it. All right guys, that wraps up the Z1 urethane transmission mount install on a 350Z. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you can, leave a comment on what how-to videos you guys would like us to do next, and like and subscribe.